In investing, you learn by making mistakes. Either losing a lot of money on a wrong investment or losing out on a great investment opportunity because you did not act. Now I can go on making these videos where I give gyan about how to invest to others, but I thought I will devote this video to the bloopers I made in my 20s and 30s while investing. If I had not made those bloopers, I would be a billionaire today. No, I am kidding, I would not be a billionaire, but I would have definitely created more wealth than I have so far. I am Aarati Krishnan, consulting editor with Businessline. I have been writing on investments and investing myself personally for the last 25 years. So what are the 3 investment mistakes that I have made? First is delaying my start. So I got my first job out of campus after I finished my MBA at the age of 23. It was a great job. It was about analyzing and writing on mutual funds. But my initial salary was only 2,500 rupees. Even in 1995, that was not such a great package. I managed to save something out of it though. I used to work overtime and take public transport. So I used to save about 500 rupees a month. But I kept thinking that this is too small a sum to invest and never got started on my investment journey until I turned 30. Now that meant that I lost out on 5 years of wealth creation, which is quite a lot in the long term. So the lesson from that is that investing is a habit, and the earlier you start it, the better you get at it. So if you're a youngster watching this and you're thinking that you're earning very little or you're saving very little, don't worry about it and just get started. Watch our earlier video on how to invest even with rupees 500 and get started. Once I began to earn a princely sum of 7,500 rupees in 1998, I began to invest more often. By then, I was able to save more. I would have about 5,000 rupees left over in my bank account every month. Every month, even after paying my parents 1,500 rupees after a lot of persuasion, I would have some money left over in my bank account. But my investment decisions were quite ad hoc. So every year I would scramble and do some tax saving investments, which usually used to go into ELSS schemes of mutual funds. I also used to invest lump sums in mutual funds. I had some stocks that I bought in 97, 98. But because I never planned these things and just used to do them when I got the time, I used to forget about these investments. In fact, with some mutual funds, it turned out to be a good thing because 20 years later when I took stock, I found that HDFC tax saver, which I bought at an NAV of 20 rupees, was now 800 rupees. But the problem is I had invested only 10,000 rupees in it. Had I invested more systematically, that itself would have turned out to be a very big investment for me. Many of the shares I bought in 97, 98, etc. crashed in 2000, 2001 during the dot-com crash, and they never came back. So that didn't make a lot of money for me. So there were 2 equity funds which I started investing in 2003 and have continued till date, and 24 lakh that I invested in these 2 funds is today more than rupees 1 crore. Now these were not the best funds to invest in, and over the years their performance has gone up and down. So the very fact that I stuck with these funds for such a long period through ups and downs of markets, that has paid off for me. So this is a lesson that instead of making random investments about which you forget, just be very systematic and do SIPs or recurring deposits or any kind of regular investment every month. So the investment decisions that I most regret today are not the wrong funds I chose or the wrong stocks I chose, but the stocks and funds that did extremely well which I sold off too soon. In 2000, soon after I started investing, there was a big dot-com crash in which the Sensex fell over 50%. So at that time, I panicked and sold 2 of my funds, Alliance 95 fund and Birla Advantage fund. Had I held on to those funds through the crash and over the years, I would have definitely multiplied my money in those funds. But I didn't realize it at that time. In fact, I don't even remember where I put the money that I got after selling those investments. So I had actually sold without having a redeployment plan. In 2007, when I switched jobs, I did not transfer my EPF balance. I just took it out and then I just spent it. Had I kept that EPF balance, today that would be a very substantial part of my retirement corpus. In both cases, I actually cashed out of good investments when I didn't really need the money. Had I stayed put, compounding would have created wealth for me. So this is the third lesson that I'd like to tell you people. Please don't interrupt compounding unnecessarily.